right, so done staining, done filling in the crack here, the gap in the veneer, sanded it, stained it. You can see now it's all one stained drum. So I am going to try 3 different types of coating to go over the top of the stain. I have this triple thick, water-based, and it's a clear matte, which is I want something very matte finish. I have this polyurethane fast drying semi-gloss, and then I have a clear polyurethane varathane full gloss. It's a clear gloss. So gloss, semi-gloss, and matte. We're going to try all those, see what works best. Probably going to need to do a bunch of coats on these, so I'm not going to film all of that, but I will show you kind of how same kind of technique I did with the stain for the finish here. I'm going to divide the drum into 3 sections. I'm going to put it on, and then we'll be able to see side by side which one we like best, and then that's what we'll use for our final project. So let's get to it. All right, we're going to get started with the kind of go in the order that I think I'm going to use them. I don't want to try to do real shiny, as I said. I'm going to go ahead and start with this. With triple thick varathane in a matte. It looks you can see this almost white. It's really, really thick, like paint. So I'm going to start with that. Then I'm going to move to the semi-gloss, and then we'll go to the gloss. Make it a mess. Okay. Go ahead and get started. I did tack cloth this off. Make sure there's no dust or anything on it. We're just going to go ahead and get started. So I'm anticipating multiple coats on this. All right, we're going to move on to the semi-gloss. See how this goes. This stuff is really, really thin, as you can see, compared to the last stuff. It's not triple thick or anything, so go ahead and get started. Make sure it's all clean. See all the bubbles on that. That's what concerns me about using anything other than a matte. It's going to require a lot of coats, a lot of sanding. So let's see. We'll see how it comes out. Okay. And then lastly, we're going to move. I hope this isn't all going to run. I'm going to move to the gloss. Oh, see. That's what I was afraid was going to happen. All right, we let this sit overnight. So if you look, that's the matte. It's the semi-gloss. And that's the gloss. And you can see with the light right above me, you can see the different level of shine. I'm actually kind of liking the semi-gloss here, but this is only 2 coats. I'm going to do some sanding. I've been letting, we've got some 400 grit and some 800 grit. Soaking in water. This is I call it wet dry sandpaper. So I'm just going to do a little bit of light sanding on it, and then I'm going to put a couple more coats. Start with the 400 grit. All right, we'll let that dry, and then we're going to hit this with a couple more coats. I'm going to try to get up to like 6 or 7 just to see what a potential finished product would look like. All right, so here we are after 4 coats. You can see the mat here. I like it. Don't necessarily love it. It's kind of what I thought it was going to come out. But when I look at the semi-gloss, I think this is more of what I'm going for. You get a little bit of a shine to it, but you still get the wood grain coming through. It's not quite as flat as this. And then this, definitely what I thought. Really tough, really shiny. You can see bubbles and streaks. I think it's just really hard to work with. Again, without spraying it on, trying to do it with a brush or with a foam brush, really makes it difficult. So I'm going to do a couple more coats. It's really down between these two. This looks a little, and probably because I'm using the triple thick, right? This stuff here, the triple thick. You can see where it's not quite as maybe opaque as this because it goes on white where this goes on clear. I might try to see if I can find some of the min wax in a matte because maybe that gives me this kind of finish without kind of the whitening that you see here. So we're going to do a couple more coats, try it, and again, I might try to go pick up some of the min wax and try that as well. Okay, we're going to try one more thing. I'm going to do satin. All right, so as I'm looking at this not going to use. I'm going to still put another coat on. This is the semi-gloss. As I'm on coat 5 now, it's starting to get too shiny for what I'm looking for. This is pretty good. This is pretty close. Like if I only did this, I think I'd be happy with it. This is the matte. But I went to my friendly Home Depot and I found Satin. So Satin is should be between now. No mixing brands here. I've got Varathane, I've got the Minwax, and then now I'm introducing Bear. But I just want to try. I'm looking for the luster, right? So semi-gloss started out strong. I thought I was going to go that direction. I'm really liking the way the map's coming out, but again, I'm seeing it being a little white. So I'm going to try this stuff and see if that gives me the happy medium that I'm looking for. So go back here. I'm going to clean this up and put some of this water-based poly that's a satin on. See how it goes. And I'm going to quickly try to get to 4 or 5 coats so I can compare them all. So I'm not going to film all that, but I'm going to get this up to where the other ones are in terms of number of coats. Do the same type of sanding in between. Do a 400 after the first 2, 800 after that, and see where we land. All right, you can see this is white like the triple thick stuff, but far more viscous, watery. Might be what I'm looking for. So give it a shot. All right. So here goes the satin. Yeah, definitely can tell this is not the triple thick. So kind of the hybrid I think I was looking for. Again, at least in terms of the viscosity so far. Okay, so we finished with our finishing test. Ultimately did 4 different types of finishes. I started with 3, went to the store. No project is complete without a run to Home Depot, and got some bare satin, which I actually really, really like. So tried all 4 different styles or kind of lusters of finish. Went from gloss, semi-gloss, satin, and matte. Thought I was going to like the matte. I'd used it before on a table, really like it. But ultimately, I think I'm leaning a little bit towards the satin. The process I followed, I did the same for each, trying to keep it scientific, but I kind of failed at that because I've got different brands. I actually have one. The gloss was a oil-based. The other 3 are water-based. I mixed a Minwax, 2 Varathanes, and a Bear. So not completely scientific, but I wanted to try each of the 4. The gloss immediately knew that wasn't going to work. I wasn't leaning in that direction anyways, but man, it came out horrible. I'll show it to you here in a second. The leaning towards the matte, but I think the satin is going to be the way I go. Before I finalize which direction I'm going to go and dive into the project, I do want to look at how it looks with the hardware, with flat black hardware. I'm just going to rough up some the lugs, spray paint them with a flat black. Again, I think I might try to powder coat. If I can figure out how to do that, I'm going to try to powder coat the hardware because I think it's going to last longer. It's going to look better. But for right now, we'll try sanding and spray painting some of the hardware, putting it on, and see how it looks. Ultimately, the process, I did 5 coats. The final project will probably do more, but I did 5 coats. Did it the same. Did it 2 coats. Then I did 400 wet sand, and then a coat, 800 wet sand, coat, 800 wet sand, and then finished with a coat. So 5 coats total on all of these. And again, I'm leaning either towards the matte finish or the semi-gloss. So we'll try out the hardware next. If you like what we're doing here or what I'm doing here on this channel, please like, subscribe, leave some comments, give me some feedback, see if there's something I could do better. Trying to learn, trying to make a nice kit when it's all said and done. Thanks.